I am going to crack this beer. We are recording.
Awesome. What is up? Welcome to episode 141 of the Kraken Pod, a podcast for Seattle Kraken fans, those new and old to hockey and hockey fans looking to have some fun. Along with you, we try to go into what lies beneath when it comes to everything Seattle Kraken and the NHL, and we are thick. We are in the thick of the Four Nations face-off. We do have some Kraken news. Kraken captain is back. And we have an official State of the Union address from the Kraken CEO, plus our 3 stars of the week. Let's get into it. Episode 141 of the Kraken Pod. Let's go. What is up? My name is Jeff Januzik. This is my friend and co-host,
Joey Cirillo.
Just cracked a brewski. What kind of brew? I'm not looking at you right now. What kind of brew are you drinking?
I don't know what else to be looking at, Jeff, considering we're talking to each other right now. We are
Read my notes.
I have an Urban South.
Oh.
What kind of beer? Actually, it's a new Mardi Gras beer they have here. Here we go. Here's the reveal. The Mardi Gras Pils.
Ooh.
So it's a Mardi Gras Pilsner is what I'm
Nice.
sipping on. They actually sent me like a little 6-pack.
Yeah.
I forgot I had it. Opened up the fridge tonight and was like, oh shit, I forgot I have this new Pilsner. Not gonna lie, delicious. Huge fan of it.
Well, you know, I know craft beer is huge everywhere. I know it's big in Seattle, but in like New Orleans, tons of great craft beer breweries.
Yeah.
And what they all try to do is they all try to come out with like the beer that you're going to drink on the parade route every year. You know,
Yes.
like what are you gonna drink? And they always have easy drinking, some cool Mardi Gras flavor. So the Mardi Gras Pilsner from Urban South, how is it?
It's
Crisp?
good. It's exactly, if you know, I mean, Pilsner, it's like a light, refreshing beer, like not too crazy on the taste, or like won't overwhelm you, but it is exactly that. It's like an easy, drinkable. I can see myself pounding a ton of these, in a single setting, walking around, checking out parades. So, I mean, like no free ads, right? But it is delicious.
so.
And Urban South is a local, New Orleans craft brewery, and I fucking love this beer. So there you go.
Yeah, if you're listening from out of New Orleans, out of Louisiana, in Washington State, you probably heard of Abita Brewing or Abita Beer, probably, maybe.
Yeah,
but
Purple
there's
Haze is probably the most famous one.
Yeah, that's delicious. I love Andy Gator's my favorite, but
what? Wait, hold on.
Yep,
you're fucking with me. There's no way you're serious.
Well, I mean, I'm truly mean this. Urban South, I like that.
I'm not making fun of your taste. I am legitimately shocked. For those that do not know, Andy Gator is the one that like Abita beer drinkers will drink all of their beers. Like if you get like the variety pack, and you'll always see the Andy Gator is like the last option.
It's so stout.
One that's, like, left behind.
It's so stout, and
what
super big ABV.
Yeah,
out of a bottle. Ice cold,
banged up off a 6-pack.
Yeah, two pack, a 2-pack, a 6-pack,
dude.
I can have
those.
one.
If you drink 2 of those like in pretty quick succession, like you're feeling it. Like you got a solid buzz.
Yeah. That's
right.
Look, maybe this is where we're going with the Kraken season. Is we're discussing how we're going to handle it by drinking. But yeah, I would say for Abita, I mean, I like Andy Gator. But it's just Amber's fantastic. That's just a go-to. I would say I'm not a huge fan of Purple Haze. I like some of their weirder versions that they've made. I think we've talked about this years ago, but PB and Jams. I don't know if they make that anymore.
Oh, I don't know if they still do. They did like a straw. Well, the Abita strawberry is like the best. That's like the best with crawfish.
Yeah.
Are you a weird beer drinker guy? Like, do you like a punch you in the mouth flavorful beer? Because an Andy Gator, like that thing finishes, and you're like, oh, I'll be tasting that for the rest of the night.
My staple beer is usually like a Heineken, or I like to go with like like for an easier beer, but like a Blue Moon. It's got a lot of taste to it. I do like Sam Adams. That sort of stuff. I think, anything local, I like most of it. I actually have a fridge full of Abita beer outside because my buddy, I think I told you about this golf tournament. He finished.
He was like, hey, can I unload this fridge full of beers on you? And you're like,
yeah,
only if there's Andy Gator.
Yeah. I like a bunch of different ones. I like who makes I had a Guinness not too long ago. I love the Guinness, but I like Reasonably Corrupt. That is
Yeah,
it's not a New Orleans brewery, but I think it's a Mississippi. Maybe it's a Mississippi brewery.
maybe.
But anyway, that's really good. I like that. So it kind of depends. Sometimes I'm going like
Yeah.
easy, and then I go in, the phases of the beers. What's your favorite Abita beer?
Amber, without a doubt, Amber is my number one. I probably drink that on draft more than any other draft beer. Like if I'm at a bar and they're like, what do you have? And I'm like, you have Amber on tap. I'm doing an Amber.
Yeah, yeah. Nothing. You are correct. Nothing beats a draft amber.
It's just the
the
best.
best.
I do like
Plastic
purple.
cup.
I do like Purple Haze, but I do think I have to, one, be in a mood for it, and two, I can find myself not drinking more than like two. After I've had that, I'm like, all right, there's something about the flavor that for me it's a lot, but I get like the love for it. Like if people don't know, about, or people know just a little bit about Abita, like Purple Haze, you can find all over the country. And it's a very popular beer. I just can't drink a ton of them, but Amber for me is by far their best beer that they have.
Did we just have we just like we are just so those podcasters. We're talking about beer and sports. It's like we're white dudes with facial hair.
I mean, speak for yourself, Jeff. I'm clearly bronzed over here.
That is true. I'm sorry, my friend. I'm sorry. I am very Caucasian.
Dudes talking about sports and beer without the sports yet.
That's right. Now I want one, but I'm not going to do it. But let's get to it. Let's get to your Four Nations face-off and Kraken reaction. All right, dude. So, I mean, I'm definitely wanting a beer right now, but I'm amped on hockey right now. I don't want the NHL regular season to come back. Have you watched the Four Nations face-off games at all? Have you watched anything?
I love how our Kraken reaction has nothing to do with the Kraken. We can throw like Kaapo Kakko in there. So this is really embarrassing, but I've said a lot of embarrassing shit over this podcast over the past 4 years. And I'm always just going to be honest, and I'm always going to be myself on here. I did not know like the origins behind the Four Nations face-off. I legitimately did not know that this was a replacement for the All-Star game until the night that U.S. team played Canada.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I've been so fucking busy with all my shit going on that I like couldn't even comprehend it. And then I was actually listening to another podcast and they were talking about how basically the NHL kicked the NBA's ass in terms of the All-Star break. And then they're like, oh yeah, the Four Nations face-off is amazing. And I'm like, wait, is this a replacement for the? I mean, that's embarrassing to admit. We're doing a hockey podcast. I've legitimately been that. I haven't even looked at it. And I haven't had a chance to fully watch a game. I've just caught highlights. But that is me being open about being a newer hockey fan. Like I discovered that literally just the other day. So to answer your question, unfortunately, no. I had to miss U.S. versus Canada. I had to miss some of the other action. I've had work, and then I had a birthday on Saturday. I'm actually have to miss the fucking rematch this upcoming Thursday, which is going to murder me because it's all I want to do is watch it. But I'm taking some folks out to go see a comedy show as like a thank you gift, and I can't bail on it. So anyways,
not a bad deal.
I'm going to stop talking about my depressing, embarrassing shit. Tell me about you tuning in because I know that you've been watching. I need to give me your thoughts and give me your feedback.
Well, dude, I got to tell you is the kids are amped about it. The family's amped about it. Here's what we did is for the U.S. Finland game, I let the kids stay up a little bit and watch it.
When you said kids, I thought you meant like the kids, like the guys playing on the ice, right? I'm like, yeah, I agree. They are pumped up. You mean your actual kids.
My personal experience right now with the Four Nations face-off is my entire family, except for my wife, is totally into this thing. So much so the past 3 days, my children have gotten the rollerblades out and have been shooting on the hockey net outside.
Hell yeah.
So they're pumped. We got to get out there. I got to shoot some pucks with them. But like we watched it, and then on Saturday night, like all day, it was like we're talking about, like, you guys ready? You guys ready for this? You guys ready for it? And then we watched it, and I got to tell you, Joey, like I was amped for it. I was pretty pumped up.
Yeah.
But like that, I mean, dude, you should feel bad you missed it. That might have been one of the greatest hockey games I've seen.
Yeah.
And, as a USA hockey fan, right, I cheer for, and I said this in the tweet. I was like, I get people not being happy with our country right now and what's going on politically, but like, screw politics. I'm there to support these players who are representing our country and supporting them. So, like,
Yeah.
I'm all in. I'm red, white, and blue blood all the way. And
Yeah.
when the opening face-off happened and the fight after fight after fight went in, and just the United States set the tone, just blitzed Canada. Canada was going to come out and try to outskate us, and that really just put a giant wrench in their plans. And it was awesome from that moment on. Now, I will say it was a little deflating when Connor McDavid scored that crazy, awesome goal. And
It was fucking sick. But that crowd reaction, that pop from the crowd, how was that? Holy shit. I watched that replay 50 times just to hear the crowd. As soon as he scores that goal, I was like, holy fuck, man.
Well, he just went nuclear, and he went best hockey player in the world.
Mhm.
And then it was crickets. And then what happened was one of the best defensive efforts in the world to date happened, and the United States shut down Team Canada.
Yeah.
And it was awesome. They couldn't do a thing.
Yeah.
And we just kept chipping and clawing and fighting and hitting them. And, since then, obviously, you're listening to this and we're well aware of what's going on. We've got the rematch on Thursday, the 20th.
Mhm.
You've probably heard all the words, if not more words from now on. Like, the Canadians are basically telling, USA players that, like, we don't need to do all this stuff. We don't need to do all these fights. We're not concerned about that. They're trying to act cooler and better than the United States. United States all banged up.
Yeah.
One interesting thing, one awesome thing that could happen, although Charlie McAvoy is awesome, we hate to lose him. Quinn Hughes is from Vancouver, arguably the best defenseman after Cale Makar in the world. He is flown to Boston, and he's hoping that he can play for Team USA.
Yeah.
If they rule officially that shoot, I'm totally blanking now.
Hughes.
Yeah. No, Quinn Hughes.
Quinn Hughes would be playing if Makar is out.
No, not Makar. Charlie McAvoy. So McAvoy.
Oh, McAvoy. Jesus, man. Yeah, you're all over the place. You're doing great. I'm following you. I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Blew a tire. I'm back.
You're too excited. You're too excited.
I am.
You're all jacked up right now. You're like,
I'm all pumped. I'm all fired up. Kids are in bed. I'm like screaming. Now they're going to be awake again, and we're going to be back in the rut of trying to get them back to bed. Anyway, I'm a little nervous because the Kachuk brothers are banged up. I think that they're going to surprise everybody and they're going to play. I know that players are probably thinking about getting back into the NHL grind. So, like, is it worth it? But I think
the answer is fucking yes.
I think that what the NHL has done here is just awesome. Going to the comparison to the NBA All-Star game where you had a guy getting kicked out of a skills competition for some technical bullshit that he tried to pull.
Didn't even see that. That's how I didn't even see that. So, like, you're telling me all these things tonight.
And then the United States, Canada chaos, like nations hating each other, just fighting on the ice. This is great. Never bring the All-Star game back. The one thing I worry about, Olympics next year, so we will not have this. But in the future, one thing I worry about is it being like kind of washed out, kind of like how I feel that the outdoor game on New Year's Day is always kind of like, to me, it's not a big deal anymore because it happens every year. I kind of feel like unless your team's in it, it's like not super cool.
Yeah.
So that's one thing I worry about. But so far, so good. It has been awesome. It's been way better than I expected. I can't wait for Thursday night. This is just an awesome experience. So I love it. I absolutely love it. So
I need to record the game so I can come back and watch it. And again, I did obviously go back and watch highlights a million times over. I was through the fucking roof just watching. I just think it's incredible. I am the same way as you. I watch sports for the entertainment, man. Like, that's just how I choose to watch it. I'm like, sports are fun. I enjoy sports. Sure, if I wanted to make it a thing, I could make it a thing, but I just want to watch sports and enjoy. And I'm fucking pumped for Thursday. I wish I could watch it in real time. Now that I know that this is a replacement for the All-Star game, as much as I have shit on the NHL for a multitude of bad decisions that they have made and will continue to make moving forward, this is an instance where not only did they nail it, they fucking crushed it. For the NHL to be the talk of the sporting world, including over the NBA, is fucking bananas. Like, it's fucking insane. And to see not just the hockey world, but like traditional sports media to be so amped up, especially for the game on Thursday, again, USA versus Canada, the rematch, like, it just makes me so fucking happy. And I'm excited. The NHL did such a good job in creating this, like, this rivalry on the ice and all these components that are playing a factor. And then it turns out, 3 fights in the first 9 seconds in the first game. And it's absolutely electric. Like, I just, the highlights, if you haven't seen it, which I doubt you have, you everyone listening to this podcast, all 3 of you have definitely watched more of that game than me. But for whatever reason, if there is somebody out there that either missed it or have been busy, which I totally fucking get, I encourage you, do what I did, go on YouTube, watch all the highlights, put on some fucking headphones and turn that shit up, because it is electric. And this is an instance where the NHL absolutely dominated. In my entire lifetime, even when I wasn't watching hockey, I can't not think of any moment off the top of my head where the NHL has like overtaken other leagues in terms of just what the world is talking about from a sporting standpoint, what media is covering, etc. And they managed to do that this year. So, I tip my hat to the NHL. They really did it right. And whether you love it or hate it, there's odds are you're going to be watching it on Thursday, and I'm fucking jacked.
Yeah, and I think the state of the world too. I think the political stuff has played into that to make it such a
I'm
center
sure it
stage
has.
type thing.
I'm sure it has. Yeah.
So it's just fantastic. It's great to see. I'm gonna be a little bummed that we have to go back to regular season hockey, because like, what do we have to look for as far as Kraken fans go? And speaking of Kraken fans and watching, I have seen a lot of Seattle Kraken fans supporting Finland for our buddy Kaapo Kakko. Sorry, I should say his name correctly. Kaapo Kakko. He got an assist the other night. It was awesome. They thought he had a goal, but they gave him the assist, so that's pretty sweet.
Yes.
Happy to see that. So I'm happy for Kaapo. And before he went, the Seattle Kraken, trying to make him feel at home, there's a video that the Kraken put out on Instagram and all the things of them making his favorite Finnish soup, which is salmon soup. And it doesn't look that bad. It looks pretty good. And it was funny, it's like 30 seconds long. For 26 seconds, he's just eating it. And then he turns to the camera and goes, "It's pretty good." And that's it. It's awesome. So
that, my friends, is called Finnish social media marketing.
Yes. So my question to you is, I know you're a food guy, and this is still the Kraken reaction, but has there ever been food that just like sounded like the worst possible idea, a terrible thought, and then you ate it and you like loved it? Any dish?
The first time I ever had sushi, I was like, why would anyone? And then you see it and you're like, wait, it's just raw? Like, I don't understand anything about this. Like, I grew up super poor. Eating sushi for the first time, it's like it's a fucking experience.
Oh yeah.
And then the second time is crawfish. Moving to Louisiana.
Oh man.
And then I think it was like the first weekend I was here, and I was brought to a crawfish boil, and I'm watching it happen live, which is the mud bugs like are in this giant bin and they're alive and they're crawling around. And then you just watch, tens or how many ever pounds get dumped into this boiling water, thrown in with all this other shit. And then it gets brought out and people are just grubbing down. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? This is like some alien shit. And then on top of that, I didn't know how to physically eat them because you have to peel them and eat them. And Louisianans are fucking professionals. So they're crushing through them. And I literally had to have I think the person I was dating at the time had to peel them for me and like hand me the meat because I couldn't figure it out.
It's like my
Also,
kids.
when you go to a party in fucking Louisiana and everyone's crushing crawfish and you've never done it before, it's the most intimidating, like social environment to be in because you clearly don't belong and you're starving and you're watching everyone else eat and you literally don't know how. It's fucking terrifying. But anyways, that's the second time in my life. Do you have any moments where you've thought, oh, this is crazy, and then you ended up loving something?
Yeah, it's also Louisiana food. And I'm trying to think if there's anything crazy dishes. Like I grew up eating sauerkraut, that sort of stuff, which is I love it.
Sauerkraut's great, but also my grandma on my dad's side's German as fuck, so I grew up with all that.
Look, salt and pepper. That's how Polish we are, as we eat German food. So
super
Polish. Yes. Yeah. No, it was be char grilled or charbroiled oysters.
Okay.
Because I had raw oysters before and disgusting. I'm not a fan of raw oysters. Just the texture, big texture guy.
So much about you tonight. Every time, man. Every time we record, I'm like, every time I think I have you pegged, you fucking figure it out.
So I can't do the raw oysters. I should give it another try. I haven't done it in years, long time, honestly. And actually, the first time I ever had oysters was in an oyster eating contest.
All of this makes so much sense. Were you doing radio shit?
Yeah, when I was in Cincinnati, Ohio, which first of all we were at McCormick and Schmick's, which is the only seafood restaurant in
of course, it's McCormick
downtown,
and Schmick's. Everyone knows that. Cincinnati represent.
Right, downtown Cincinnati. So I'm right. So they had this like charity thing. It was for like a United Way or whatever. And like as a radio host, I was like one of the people that got to eat it. And what was cool is like I got served them. Like they were shucked and people with I had like two people like dumping them down my throat. So I was like, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do it.
Unnecessary. Yeah.
Totally unnecessary. And I ate probably 10 or 12 and I was like, I can't do this. So that tainted me, as you could expect. They were fresh, actually, and I've learned that, getting seafood in places like Cincinnati, especially like shellfish, probably not the best idea, but I did not get sick off of them.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. But I will say is when we get to Louisiana and start, dating Megan back in the day, charbroiled oysters, I was like, what is that?
Mm-hmm.
It's oysters. It's going to be disgusting. Absolutely delicious. Absolutely love them. And if you don't know what charbroiled oysters are, it's just, here's a oyster in the half shell that's been coated in butter and Parmesan and like some breadcrumb action in there. And then you throw it into the broiler and they get heated to like 1,000 degrees and they pop out. And then you like just soak up all the juice with bread and then you eat those things. And it just absolutely love those things. They're awesome.
Best.
Fried oysters too. I'm down. Fried oyster po' boy. Just sneaky good stuff. So oysters, I would say most versions except raw, that to me at a time was like, that's disgusting. So
I love all of oysters, including raw. I am equal opportunity oyster lover over here. I love crushing a dozen raw.
I will try those in the Kraken pod honor. And I would totally eat salmon soup. The salmon soup looked interesting. I will say a lot of that, Eastern European food, European, the Finnish area, all that, the fish and the stuff, the preserved junk, that sounds pretty nasty, but the salmon soup sounds pretty good. So
yeah, man, I don't know. I like salmon and I like soup, so why not? It's also fucking weird though, because growing up in Washington, like I ate a lot of salmon. Salmon soup was never something that was offered. So this is definitely some Finnish trickery going on over there.
They made it just for him. So
that tracks.
Here's some actual Kraken reaction news. Jordan Eberle, this is via Seattle Sports, reported that the Kraken recalled Ebbs from his conditioning loan with the Coachella Valley Firebirds. That was today, Tuesday, February 18th. He was, of course, placed on this conditioning stint on February 12th. And he did not appear in a game for the Firebirds. So he did not go skate since he got busted up with his pelvis way back in the day. Now, here's the deal is they still need to activate Ebbs off the IR before he's eligible to return. But that looks like it's going to happen. And they are thinking that he'll be ready to go when they come back from the Four Nations face-off. And the Kraken's next game, if you remember, the Seattle Kraken are a hockey team that you like listening, right? And they're not that good this season, so we have to have things to look forward to. The next game is at the Panthers in Florida.
Yes.
February 22nd. That could be the return of Jordan Eberle, which I'll be super pumped for. So,
yes.
now, another news here is Kraken CEO Tod Leiweke. He went on the radio, 93.3 KJR, a couple days ago.
KJR.
Good radio voice. I like
Thank
that.
you.
I approve. And he kind of gave his state of the union on the Seattle Kraken franchise, and it was interesting. So this is from CEO Tod Leiweke, who I think still follows us on Twitter. Does he follow us on Twitter, or did he?
Yeah,
just...
shout out to Todd. Yeah,
all right,
he's the man.
Todd, which I totally, that's a power move to be a Todd. I know one of my good friends is named Todd. How about Todd with 1D? That is a power move.
Even
right
more
there.
of a power move if Todd with 1D just like threw us each a mill. Was like, you know what?
Yeah.
Love what you guys do. Love the energy you bring.
Yeah. Challenge.
Here you go. Keep doing what you're doing. In fact, I want you to do more of it. Just why I'm giving this money to you.
What kind of Kraken empire,
Just focus on the
Kraken media empire can you build with $2 million?
Like, I don't know, Todd. I'll tell you one thing.
Correction. What can we build with about $8,000 after Joey and I take the $2 million mostly? So we'll just spend the rest.
A sick pool. I can tell you that much.
That'd be awesome. All right. So here's what Todd said on the radio, 93.3 KJR. Quote, "We early on made a decision that building through the draft was how you were going to build a long-term competitive team. Having said that, we're ready to win now too. We've got to press just a little bit harder. I love the free agents we picked up. It was hard losing our captain, Jordan Eberle, who's been gone for most of this season, but actually was down skating with the Firebirds over the break here. All in all, I feel pretty good, but we have an ownership group that wants to go faster and get there sooner, and it's going to be an interesting finish to the year."
What?
Well, okay, so that kind of goes, I read the same part, and I went, what are the interesting
I'm like,
hold
the fucking phone, Todd. Let's have a talk here. Okay, I'm listening.
So what season are we in? Season 4?
Yes.
Okay, so he says, I'd say going into season 5, that's when a lot of folks said we are going to be a sustained playoff team, and that's what we expect. And that's what we expect, is that we're going to have a team that doesn't just make the playoffs, but also stays in playoffs. So how I read this, Joey, he says it's going to be an interesting finish to the year. For 1 second, I was like, does he think that we're going to make the playoffs? But then I read further into that and saying that, he basically is saying like, hey, people have been saying that going into season 5, we're going to be a playoff team. So I think interesting finish to the year, to this season, probably means a whole bunch of moves in preparation for trying to put a team on the ice for the 25-26 team. That's competitive team. That's how I read it. What do you think?
I read it as someone, first and foremost, who gives a fuck. And that is what I appreciate about that. There was one time, I think, where we had like a DM exchange with Todd, but it doesn't seem as if a lot of people of his status are publicly on social media. For him to put himself out there in the way that he does not need to do that. I mean, he really doesn't. I don't know the man personally. Interactions have been very few and far between. I love that he supports what we do for whatever reason. He strikes me as a really genuine person, and he strikes me as a genuine person who gives a fuck about this team because he wants this team to be successful. Also, if I just look at it from a business standpoint, you make more money when the team is good, which we've been saying now, all season and whatever. The other big takeaway I have is fuck yeah. I mean, it's time to right this ship. And, the move for Grubauer, which by the way, seems like that was in 2017 at this point, but, sending him down to Coachella, I think was a really big signal to everyone within the organization, not just on the ice, but all the brass that surrounds it as well. And I do believe that they are going to do everything in their power to put together a competitive hockey team moving forward. Their window it just has to happen. So that's my biggest takeaway. What do you have any other takeaways from hearing this?
I'm with you. I like what he said. I like that he's saying, "Hey, we know. Hey, I think what he's saying here is this to
Yeah, he's
us, the fans.
acknowledging it,
He's
right?
like, "Hey, look, we know. We got to do some things here, and it's
Yeah.
going to be an interesting finish to the year. Let's do it." Also, I think that we should like make some sort of a law that like
Mm,
if you're going to be a CEO, you've got to have like just a unique name or twist on your name
like a
just to exert your
Joey.
power. Like the two D's had a power struggle in Todd, and the weaker D got killed by the stronger D, and
Like
that's the
the
D that
yeah.
remained.
It's like the other D killed the other one in the womb, and he came
Yeah,
out as CEO.
there was a D battle, right?
Yes.
And
D off.
the stronger D won, which
Mm-hmm.
set the tone for this man to be a leader and to eventually be the CEO of a major sports team. So I mean
Yeah.
that's it's pretty hardcore. So I think
His
like
next power move after giving us each a mil would be to capitalize the D. So he's the first guy ever to legally have his first letter and last letter of his first name capitalized.
that would just be take his dominance to another level. And I think that's the
The
only
Kraken might win a Stanley.
that's honestly, Joey, the only thing that's standing in our path to a Stanley Cup
This
is
episode might just be named Todd.
yes.
Like-
That's Todd with one D. Now get in my office, sit down. You're getting shipped. You're out of here. Says Todd with one D.
No, I fuck with Todd. He seems like a good dude, and I approve of all of this. And at the end of the day, we're also all human beings, right? And so I like that. I like that this man has his ear to the ground and is paying attention. That is the sign of someone who gives a shit and a sign of someone who wants to be on the same page as everyone else and really get this thing going. It's 4 years. Let's get
I
going.
only need one D in my first name because I'm direct. I also hate numerous consonants in first names.
Yeah.
TOD. TOD. You know, remember like Elvis, like taking care of business? Do you remember
No, because
this?
I'm fucking 40, not 52.
Dude, I'm 45.
Okay.
All right.
Mm.
Taking care of business in a flash. You've never heard this?
No.
Taking care of business in a flash. It's TCOB with the lightning. The lightning. That was his insignia. That was his symbol. That's
Okay.
what Todd needs. It's like TO capital D, Tod Leiweke.
I heard a story one time that Vince Dunn came to him and he had some concerns about Adam Larson. And he was like, "What do I do about this D pairing?" And Todd said, "D pairing? You just need one D. Now get the fuck out of my office." True story.
By the way, your nickname's officially Dundertaker. And don't let some half-wit podcast come up with a good name like that. You should have thought of that first, Dunner.
I agree. I agree on all fronts.
These idiots on the Kraken pod came up with that name first, and I can't be having that when we're trying to build a machine that prints money.
All right. If he listened before, he definitely does not now.
This is a love pod for Todd. This is
Yes.
the pod for
This is the Todd Pod.
This is the Kraken pod for Todd.
This is the Todd Pod.
Please clip this and send it to Todd.
I'll DM it directly to him with no
Yes.
context.
Okay. All
And
right.
then you'll be like, Jeff, you'd be like, Joey, did you just fucking send that to like one of the most powerful people in the NHL? And I'd be like, yes, I did.
That's the new thing. TOD. I love it. I'm gonna actually talk to my friend Todd, who's now my neighbor, and I'm gonna tell him, like, dude, you gotta drop the name. You gotta drop the D. You got too many D's in your name.
You gotta drop the D, or you need to move the fuck out of here because we don't allow a bunch
Drop
of
the
baby back
D.
bitches in this neighborhood.
Get away from me. Although my name's Jeff and I have 2 F's. I don't need the F. Shit. I gotta change my name.
Yeah.
God,
All right.
they-
We need to
and you
move
thought-
on.
and you
It's just
thought-
getting out of control.
And you thought G-offs were weird. Wait till you meet
G-offs
Jeff
are
with one
weird,
F.
dude. And
Oh.
speaking of G-offs, is it Jeff Baker over at the Seattle Times? He's a G-off.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but in my experience as a Jeff, most G-offs that I meet are really weird, man. They're just weird people. I don't know
I
why it is.
honestly, they got dealt a bad hand. Imagine being a kid and like you have no say in that. Like your parents just decided to go that route. It's like I listened to the Ryan Russillo podcast, and his parents spelled his name Ryen,
Yep.
and his whole life he's been given shit for it. I'm pretty sure he's like 50 now, and his response is like, "Yep, wasn't my choice." Like basically being like, "What the fuck do you want me to do?" Like it's spelled with an E, man. Anyways, moving on.
All right, we'll move on. DraftKings Sportsbook. I've been placing bets, and guess what? Still losing.
Nice.
I've been placing bets in the Four Nations Face Off. It's fun.
There should be an over under on fights, by the way, for the championship match.
I actually picked the parlay for the Canadian game, and I got everything correct except I picked. I don't know why I should have thought of this, but I picked the over of like 6.5 goals, and I should have thought like, there's no way this is going to be. It's going to be a defensive battle. Should have known that. Other than that, I think I picked money line US, and then who did I pick? Somebody to score a goal, and I got it right. But anyway, long story short is
Okay.
look, DraftKings Sportsbook app is the app for placing bets on any and all sports. It's awesome. DraftKings Sportsbook's so easy, it's safe. You can get as a new customer $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5 of your own dollars. Here's what's going to happen: is you're going to sign up. Okay, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. You're going to sign up, and then it's going to ask you, "Hey, you got one of those little codes?" And you're going to say, "Yes, I do," because I'm Todd with 1D. The code is THPN for the Hockey Podcast Network. We're proud members of that network, which you're probably going to get booted from. That's code THPN for new customers. You get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5 only on DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or see our show notes for details. Let's get into our 3 stars of the week. This is where Joey and I kind of rank things that are happening in our personal life, and talk about what's been happening. So, Joey, what is your 3rd star of the week?
White Lotus is back. Jeff with 2 F's. White Lotus is back.
Now, I did see a tweet. A tweet
What?
from you. Were you knocking it? Were you not into the first episode? Is that what I hear?
All right, jumping the shark here a little bit. I guess I
Sorry.
can talk about that now. No. So it is, and you know what? I felt crazy for having this opinion because I didn't see anyone else echoing it. So I was like, am I going crazy? This is like when I said I thought that The Bear wasn't that good of a series, and people acted like as if I had killed like their unborn child. I was like, calm down. I just don't fuck with it that hard, but I do think it's good. Anyways, I thought that the episode overall was good, but it didn't immediately grab my intrigue the way that the past 2 seasons did from the jump. And then I saw an article that came out. I want to say it was in Vice or something like that. And the writer basically wrote how this series opener will not grip you from the beginning like the other 2 seasons, but over time, the peaks of this season go like above and beyond, and it very much falls in line with everything that we love about White Lotus. So I felt vindicated in my take on it. It was still very good. There was still plenty of what the fuck is going on moments. If you watched it, you know what I'm talking about. If you have not, which clearly by your face you have not, I would encourage you to, because it is very entertaining.
This is HBO, right? I did cancel HBO.
Oh my God, that's the best streaming platform.
I don't know, man.
Don't
know.
even. Yes,
I might.
you do.
We'll see. I might get it back. We'll see.
You know.
What is there?
What's your favorite? You're a Paramount Plus guy now? You get Paramount Plus, all of a sudden you can't HBO?
No. I'm very elitist when it comes to that because I'm dropping the F. I'm JEF. No, I just kind of flip back and forth on whatever. Like, I don't know. I don't have.
Fair.
I get into things, and then we go through it, and then I'm not into anything for a while, and then I find something else. I have enjoyed I did not like how season 2 ended for some reason. I did not.
Yeah, we've talked about that. I was surprised at but I get it.
You know, also too, like there's a weird tense vibe to the show, which like I have to really get in a groove to enjoy that, and I always do. I mean, It's awesome. I didn't like how it ended in season 2, but I love the concept of it.
Yes. Yeah.
Now the other thing that I'm understanding and is like, is there like gay incest happening? Is this what I'm seeing on Twitter? Is there something like this?
There was some major hints towards that in the first episode.
Okay. Okay. So
The show, the series can take on any direction. I would not be surprised. I don't know how they're going to navigate that, but there was definitely some moments that you're like, huh, let me raise an eyebrow at that. That was definitely not a normal thing to say to your sibling. Gonna keep watching this.
that's a White Lotus move. It totally is.
A White Lotus move all the way, for sure.
Yeah. My third star is a clean garage. I've been staring at my garage and the giant mess that's in there for many months. And on Sunday, I cleaned it out, and
fuck yeah,
like it was just awesome. I'm so dad mode, like just such like 45-year-old suburban dude.
Dad mode, engage.
Yeah, it was awesome. I went through. Like it's, and you could talk to my wife. Like I have a hard time throwing things away. And I was throwing stuff away, man. I was just throwing things out and things that had to be thrown out, like donating some stuff, that sort of thing. But like I was just tossing like this soccer ball, like this is destroyed. This got to go, garbage. Like I just felt so cathartic. You know what I mean? Like I just felt.
How good did you feel?
Awesome. To be honest,
yeah,
that was Sunday. I have gone and stood in the garage at least 5-6 times. Just looked around and went,
dude. Please tell me that when you go in the garage to admire your clean job now, that when you go in there, you let out like a little bit of a sigh, and then you stand there, legs got a good, distance apart.
Yep.
And then you just hands on the hips, perfect 45-degree angle arms.
Yep.
And you just glance around the room and you kind of nod your head a little bit.
Yeah, you know what I'm thinking? It's exactly right.
That's such a dad move,
exactly
dude.
right. And I'm also looking at it, I'm like, I know where everything is now. Like the thing. I know where that is. And you know what's ironic?
You're like you want your family to ask you for something from the garage. You're like, you sure you guys don't need me to grab a football?
This is how awesome it was. This is how awesome it feels. Is I went to go get the ball pump to pump up this soccer ball, and it wasn't in. I immediately went to like the crazy cockamamie area where I kept it, like that one shelf behind the thing in the spot, like next to a bunch of other bullshit, where it should not be ever. But that's where it was. So I went there. I was like, wait, where the hell's the? Oh yeah, I put it in the proper spot, the actual toolbox that I have for all these things. And I went over there, was like, pulled the drawer open. I was like, oh, look at that. There it is right there. Next to the box of all the needles that go into the ball pump. Like, look at this. It's perfectly in the right spot. It's awesome.
Not to be confused with your black tar heroin drawer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You keep that within kids' reach so they can help you out in case you can't find it.
I do. Get Daddy's 8-ball, please.
Yeah. I love something that you said, because it's another reason why I'm like, man, sometimes despite all of our similarities, we have a lot of differences. Yes. I am a habitual throwawayer. I love throwing shit away. I'll throw shit away I need. Not intentionally. I'll be like, don't need this anymore. And then a week later, it's like, hey, where's that thing? And I'm like, oh, fuck. like, so my pendulum has swung to the other side. I don't keep shit. So I love and that's why I asked you, how good did it feel? Because there's something about it, man. When I throw something away and I clear a little bit of space, it's like I declutter my brain. I'm also a text and a DM deleter. Like if I'm having a conversation with somebody,
yep,
and that conversation's over, delete, it's gone. Like I'm out, because it's like, how can I explain it? I feel like in my brain, all these things start to clutter up space, and it drives me fucking crazy. And if I don't delete those memories, delete like those conversations away, like they'll just clutter my brain. Like deleting them like helps me feel organized. And every like month or so, I'll sit down and like clear out all the messages from people I'm not like regularly talking to, and then just like clear out my phone, clear out space. I do the same thing with photos and videos. I have like 200 photos and videos total on my phone. Like I can't do it, dude.
No way.
Yeah, that's it. If it gets like in the 300s, I start to like panic. I'm like, no, I gotta really clean my shit out.
I need you to, not because you don't have a full-time job and a million projects that you work on and a life. I need to hire you to just destroy everything I have, because that is,
Done. Come on with the sledgehammer tomorrow morning.
I am literally on the other end of that. What you're in digital and social media.
Yes.
So the stuff you on your phone, do you store the good stuff? Do you have like an organized Google Drive folder full of content somewhere? What do you do with it all?
Yeah, like the stuff that I use and need, like I will save to like a laptop and then I'll just pull it as I need it. And also I do a lot of editing on like laptops and whatnot. And then the other stuff I just have. So like if I if I have like some photos of like a meal I had, now I'm like, oh man, this is great. This restaurant's incredible. If I post those on social somewhere, they then get deleted from my phone. Like they're on social media. I can pull them whenever I want to. They're on fucking line. Like, why do I need to have a photo of a fucking steak on my phone when I've shared that same photo to Facebook and Instagram? I just don't. And for me, it helps me in my brain. And I realize that this is kind of a crazy move. I tell people that I do this and they're like, what the fuck? But like, it helps my brain just feel less cluttered. No, dude.
Does that freak you out?
Yes. I can't. Yeah. The call don't bother me. I have 133 on mine.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just showed Joey my phone, and on my text message bubble, I've got four. I don't know how. Most of that's, I think,
432.
There's a lot of spam in there. That's got deleted out.
No, I have to open. So I am weird in the sense that like, so my missed calls and my voicemails, I have like 122 of those, but I don't really, that doesn't bother me as much because a lot of those are just voicemails and fucking whatever. But text I have to open like immediately. Like I have to open them. It is what it is. Now I might not always reply. I have over time, I have turned into the worst texter ever. I will either get back to you within a millisecond because you caught me at a moment that I am actively engaged on my phone, or I will read it and then just completely forget to reply. And unless you double message me, that's a wrap. So,
well, I need to channel some of you, because I'm in a hamster wheel of like, just like, of all the pillars of things that I need to accomplish and do. It's like I'm just like shaving something off the top here, over here. So I like nothing ever gets done completely perfectly, or all the way down to the bottom. And I'm always chipping away when I really need to just like spend time just doing like one thing for 2 days straight, and then like that will definitely set the tone. So
it feels good, man. I'm telling you, I go in with like a fucking buzz saw, and I'm like, "Yep, it's time to clear this out. It's getting too crazy. Gonna sit down and not do anything else until this is done."
Yeah, I guess stop taking coffee meetings. All right, so
yes,
what is your
those things last like 2 hours,
dude? Coffee meetings, like, God.
All
right. Anyway, what's your second star?
Comedy shows. I'm missing the Four Nations Face Off Thursday, which I'm very upset about and don't need to discuss anymore. But I will be at Jim Gaffigan and Sebastian Maniscalco. They are in New Orleans, the Smoothie King Center, where the New Orleans Pelicans play. I'll be there Thursday night. I just love live comedy. And the scene here is starting to get better. I'm very excited for that, but I'm very excited for this show. So that's what I'll be doing Thursday.
That's awesome. One of my favorite bits ever, just of all. And I love stand-up comedy too. I don't think I get as deep as you, but I love listening to stand-up comics on Spotify. And like, my favorite Gaffigan bit ever is the manatee.
Oh, yes. Yes.
He basically talks like he's the manatee, and he's hello everybody, I'm the manatee. And they're like, shut up, sea cow. And just the way his voices and his characterizations of things, just like, and his manatee bit is like my absolute. He's funny. I love Jim Gaffigan, but
He's great, man, and he's been
yeah.
doing it for so long. He's so polished, and he does very good at like appearing to be like goofy and disheveled. It's like, no, you're a seasoned pro. You're very good at writing. You're very good at what you do.
Yeah. My second star was Valentine's. We pieced it together. It was awesome. We got a babysitter last minute. We tried to go to like multiple spots. I'm sorry, like the 4 spots on our side of the lake that like are decent. And they were all booked up. But we ran up, we sat at the bar at this little Italian restaurant, had an awesome time there. And then we went to another restaurant. We went to the Desi Vegas. I mean, nobody knows what the hell we're talking about.
Yeah, it's a steakhouse. The place is great.
It's great, but we went to the Desi Vega on 22 here in Mandeville, and we're like, I don't know, it might be a little chaunch in there. And we got in there, and it was like we sat down for like a minute. And here's the things that happened: is like I'm pretty sure I saw like 4 mob guys discussing a hit.
Great,
and I'm not kidding. And then also the bartender yelled at a server next to us.
Okay.
And she was like, and this is all like in a minute before we ordered a drink. And she was like to the server, she's like, you can't come here and tell me you need a dirty martini for table 4. I need to know how dirty it is. What kind of vodka? Are we talking gin? You can't do this on Valentine's night and come in here, which is fair. She's totally right.
These are fair criticisms.
Totally fair. But she was like yelling at him, like, and we were like 4 feet from her. And Megan and I were like, all right, let's go. So we took off. And
I was going to joke around that you were like, 2 dirty martinis, please. I would have said some shit like that just to fuck with them.
We'd actually had dirty martinis earlier, which also to my wife and I, Megan and I, have, I think agreed that like we've been on a big dirty martini kick for like a couple months now.
Yeah, they're the best.
They are the best, but like I think we need to take a little break. I think we need to take a little break.
Yeah, because you drink 2 and you're like, we could do a 3rd, and then you're lit up, man.
Oh, you have one of those things, and then we usually have like a glass or 2, like probably 2 glasses of wine after that, and like then the next you're like, oh god, what? Okay.
Yeah, then you wake up and you're like, wait, I don't understand why I feel this way, and you're like, well, because you were kind of secretly drunk. That's why.
Right. Your first star.
Oh my god, that's hilarious. My first star is just the 4 nations face off. It's not just the fact that USA and Canada are playing again in the rematch. And again, and I won't beat a dead horse here too much, but I really do believe
a patriotic, amazing, thriving horse for America.
There you go. I really do believe the NHL nailed this, and it makes me really happy that they figured something out. And I hope that they just continue doing it aside from the Olympics next year, of course. It's just phenomenal, man. And it's great to see the sport of hockey penetrate the zeitgeist and get the attention it fucking deserves, because hockey is fucking awesome. And I wasn't fully aware of it until I finally had a team. But this 4 nations face-off is allowing people to get an understanding of why this sport is so fucking cool.
It's just great. It's just so great. I'm so happy for our sport, and I'm not even kidding. I wasn't trying to be funny when I said I'm not looking forward to NHL hockey coming back, because it's just not going to be the same.
No, this is the peak. Like the season ended after this, and they're like, yeah, here's what the draft order for the Seattle Kraken is. I'd be like, cool. Like, it sounds good. That season was awesome.
I need this for many reasons. I need this Russian war with Ukraine to be settled, so that the Russians can be let back into international competition. So we have a true showdown of who the world powers of hockey are in the Olympics coming up in 2026. So, I mean, that's last on the list why I think the war should end. But I'm just saying, is like, I want to have a big time Olympics. This sets the stage for Olympics next year.
Are the Olympics coming to the United States?
They are in Milan, Italy next year.
No, not next year. I'm saying like Summer Olympics or some shit, right? No, World Cup. I'm thinking World Cup.
I think World Cup might be back. Yeah, there's something like
Dude,
that. I think so.
No, I can't keep up with life. All right, I'll look into that. I think it's World Cup though.
My last thing, my 1-star, first star pizza. It's this 1 bite pizza review from Dave Portnoy. Love him or hate him. The whole Barstool 1 bite pizza review
Mhm.
So much stuff happened. You heard Joey's Super Bowl rundown. All these
Mm.
people came to town, did so many New Orleans things. And what I think is cool is it's neat to see, because we don't often get like crazy big influencers coming through town. Keith Lee came to New Orleans a bunch of times and has done cool stuff with New Orleans, and that's neat to see.
Yeah.
I just love to see like people responding in real life to social media and big things. And the
Yeah.
Portnoy pizza thing is giant. And there are several pizza joints in the New Orleans area that are exploding because he gave them good reviews. And
Yeah.
it's really cool to see that, like at your, like, basically your neighbor's back door, seeing like your neighbors or pizza places that you like blowing up and getting tons of business because of something cool that happened from a guy who, obviously a billionaire, but also like does this whole thing and has made this pizza thing his thing. And it's just great. I just absolutely love it, man. It's just so cool to see. So I just wanted to say that was pretty neat. I don't know if you've been watching these. You're a food dude. You love social media. Have you been watching any of these?
Yeah. I ran into him a couple times Super Bowl week.
That's right, but you didn't get a picture. I forgot.
Yep, I did not.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think it's really cool. It's great for small businesses, to your point.
Mhm.
Because he really highlights like the mom and pop shops. And I think that's a great thing,
Yep. Yep.
And the place, there's a specific place called Forbidden Pizza in New Orleans that he gave an 8.3, which is incredibly high for his standards. And he called it the best pizza that he's had in New Orleans. And he's, had, I don't know, 10 to 15 different places here. And since then, that place has gone nuclear. And they're relatively new and they're kind of in a hidden spot. I've been fortunate. I've had them before. They are incredible. Like, it is insanely good pizza. My thing, aside from what you just said, which I also agree with, but my thing that I really love that he said specifically about New Orleans was that when you are here or you come here, you might not necessarily think about, pizza coinciding with New Orleans. However, this city is very underrated when it comes to pizza. And I have been on that fucking train, Jeff, for like 3 to 4 years. I've been on social media beating my chest that New Orleans deserves more credit as a pizza city because we got some fucking good pies here. And it's cool that people all over the world are starting to take notice. Like, Pizza Delicious, insane. Pizza Dominica, incredible.
Good.
Forbidden Pizza, great. There's like Magazine Street, there's Midway, there's like all these, there's Ancora, like there's all these spots and they're all so fucking good. And you can close your eyes and eat it and you would never know that you're eating pizza from New Orleans. Like, you would never know. We got some really good shit here. There's a other place that he gave like an 8.2. It's like Il Supremo.
Yeah,
In
Il
like
Supremo's in Old Metairie. Did you
Old
watch the
Metairie. I've
video?
never been there. Have you been?
No, my father-in-law has, because it's close to his house, and you have to like order a pizza 8 hours in advance. And this before Portnoy
Oh,
went there.
now it's like a day in advance. Like, good luck getting a pie from there. Like,
The
seriously,
video
good luck.
was awesome because he's outside reviewing it and he says it, and then the camera kind of like pans away from everybody, and Dave obviously like went into the restaurant,
Yeah.
and he was still mic'd up. You could still hear him, and you can hear the restaurant owner or the cook or whoever be like, what was the score? And he said, I can't say it. I'm not gonna say it, but it's in the eights. And he went, what? Oh my. He's like, what? And then he yells it to, like, and you don't see this, you just hear it. He yells
Yes.
it to the people in the restaurant, and the whole restaurant's cheering. They're like, wow, my God.
Yeah.
And they come out in the streets. And like, it
Yes.
was such a neighborhood thing because a random kid just like dribbling a basketball who came
Yeah.
over and he's like, and there's like 30 people standing around in this Old Metairie neighborhood as a kid. It's like, this is such a like a pizza joint, neighborhood joint,
Yes.
basketball kid. They're so happy. He's talking to the pizza chef, the cook. It's like, it just was cool. So
Yeah. No, I agree, man. I think it's cool. I like seeing, businesses get highlighted. There was one, I'll tell a story really quick. There was one that he went to in Baltimore like a month or so ago. and he went in, loved it. It was like, man, this is really good stuff. And the guy might have been a veteran or something. There was some backstory about the owner, but he's like, man, you guys are doing really good. And they start talking, and he finds out that like basically they're shutting down shop. And he's like, it's just been crazy. Like we still haven't, fully recovered. Like we're working on things. And then they're like, man. And then there was people sitting around, and he was like, what do you think about this place? And the people were like, it's the best. Like this is the best neighborhood spot. Like we fucking love this place. We can't believe it's going. And then he was like, how much do you need to stick around? They were like, I'm throwing out a number. I don't remember exactly what it was, but they were like 50 grand. And he was like, done. Don't close your doors. He was like, cutting you a check. You're not closing. And they were like, what the fuck just happened? Like he just saved our life. Like, he walked in. So again, he is a polarizing figure. I get why people feel a type of way or another. I am specifically focusing on the pizza stuff. I think it's really cool. Small businesses get highlighted. Love seeing him go in and finding out that this place is going to close, and basically the whole dynamics of the neighborhood will change, and people are so sad. And he's like, here's a check. You guys keep doing your thing. Like that stuff to me is fucking awesome. We need more of that in the world.
Absolutely, dude. I thought that was really cool. I love seeing it. And I still love seeing this New Orleans content come out from Super Bowl stuff. So
yes.
Well,
yes,
awesome, dude. Well, enjoy Jim Gaffigan. I'm actually pretty jealous. That guy's awesome. I would love to see him.
I hope he does your favorite joke just to bring it back.
The manatee. I'm going to go listen to it. I'm literally going to listen to it while I put the dishes in the dishwasher after the pod's done.
I got to do dishes too. Fuck.
Yeah, God damn it. I know it sucks. I act like I hate it, but it's kind of like my...
Dude, it's 9:25. This is the earliest that we've ended in so long. I thought it was like midnight. I mean, it's usually, pretty late. I'm like, oh, I could do dishes tonight. I can shower. This is incredible.
Dude, I told you before I was like, we whipped those kids into that bed. We yeeted them in the bed and said, stay in that bed.
Yep, there you go.
The bedtime wars have been big in the Januzik house, and we win tonight. So Kraken pods early, man. I appreciate your patience with the children's. So
yeah.
Anyway, have an awesome week, Joey. Enjoy the show. We will talk next week before we go into big time Mardi Gras season.
Kraken are back on Saturday. I mean, holy shit, man. This break is going to be over in 2 seconds. I needed it. Did you need it?
Absolutely needed it. I'm pumped. I think it's the perfect. If Ebbs comes back on Saturday night, that's just awesome. Mm-hmm. Saturday night with Ebbs, it's going to parlay from the USA Canada game. I hope it's a USA win. And that's just going to set the tone and hope. I just want positive vibes for the Kraken, winning or not, but just positive moves, good things happening on the ice. So I am ready to have it back. So let's go. I'm ready for the Kraken to come back and see that.
Yeah.
And enjoy it. So, man, have an awesome week, dude. Joey, get some rest. Enjoy the rest of your free night.
Dishes.
And
dishes and showering. So
thank you for listening to the Kraken pod. Here's your Kraken pod chirp of the week.